Hi everyone, and welcome back to this fanfic. Welcome to the fourth season of What If Naruto Fell in Love with INO and TENTEN and Mastered the FUINJUTSU. So, like always, if you want more seasons, don't forget to give your like, comment, and subscribe for more. So, we're gonna start.
Chapter 12. The Search for Uzumaki 2. Pride. Tenten was annoyed. Annoyed with herself. Annoyed with the girl from Suna. Annoyed that she couldn't have breakfast because the stupid milk was expired in her apartment. Annoyed that she was the only one on her team not to advance to the finals. Annoyed because there were no missions and the money was running out. But above all, annoyed with Naruto Uzumaki. Why was she annoyed with him? Thought the bun girl. Let's recap his offense. During the meeting between Tenten and Temari. The third moon, Temari said as she disappeared in a flick of her fan. Where did he go? Tenten said, looking around. I'm here, she heard behind her. Turning around, she saw Temari with the fan, ready to attack her. Kamaitashi no jutsu, wind scythe jutsu. The girl shouted. Suddenly, a huge, cutting blizzard enveloped Tenten, injuring her as she screamed at the top of her lungs. But the vortex did not allow any sound to escape. Inside the vortex, as a world of pain engulfed her, the still conscious Tenten reflected on what had just happened. She beat me. I can't believe it. I boasted so much about being the best kunoichi in Konoha during these exams, and I was defeated like a novice. She was superior to me from the start and was just toying with me. Damn it! Why was I so weak? She thought as Temari's attack ended and she fell, completely wounded, straight to the ground. But suddenly, an unbearable pain shot through her back, something that brought her to the brink of unconsciousness. I can't stay conscious, thought the bun girl. I've lost Dash. Then he felt his body fly. With the last of his mental strength, he reasoned, the weapons! Is he throwing me into the weapons? Is he trying to kill me? I must try to avoid them, he thought wearily. Tenten tried to move her body, but because of all the damage she had sustained, it wouldn't respond. It's useless. I can't move. My journey ends here, without fulfilling my dream, she thought resignedly, awaiting the pain. But she never arrived. Suddenly something stopped her fall. She moved what she could of her face upwards and saw the boy who had defeated Sasuke Uchiha holding her without looking at her. His serious face was looking straight ahead, probably at the girl from Suna. With her last bit of strength, Tenten said the words that would mark all her future frustration. Did you save me? And then fell unconscious, but not before catching one last word that came from the girl with the fan. Oh, here comes the boyfriend to the rescue. Hours later, Tenten woke up abruptly in a hospital bed. What happened? How did I get here? Then the memories of her encounter with Temari returned to her mind. So she beat me, she sighed. So much talk for nothing. I won't be able to be a chunin, she thought despondently. Oh, I see you're awake, said a doctor's voice as she entered her room. I'm glad you'll recover soon, she said, taking her file from the bed. I see that all your injuries have healed, especially the back injury, which was the most serious, she read. I see, thank you, the girl said gratefully, but then she remembered something. Excuse me, the last thing I remember was falling onto a floor full of weapons. Did they heal me from that too? She asked. Although I probably would have died, she mused. Oh no, we didn't heal you from that, nor did we help you, the doctor explained with a smile. It was Uzumaki-san who saved you from crashing into the weapons. So it was true, he saved me, she said, remembering being caught in the blonde boy's arms, while her blue eyes glared angrily at Temari. Why did he do it? I don't know, but it was nice of him. He saved you and even carried you in his arms to the stretcher. He must be a great friend to you, said the doctor. I don't really know him. We only spoke during the preliminaries, but we've never been close, Tenten said. But he did something very youthful for you, my dear student. Mato Guy's unmistakable voice appeared from the doorway. And I am very grateful to him for it, he said, striking a nice boy pose. Guy-sensei, what are you doing here? Tenten asked. Obviously I came to see how my young student is doing, he said as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Thanks, I guess, Tenten said seriously as she looked towards the bed. What happened with Niji and Lee? Did they make any progress? She asked. Guy took a moment to answer while his gaze was fixed on Tenten. Yes, they managed to pass. Lee defeated one of Kurenai's students and Niji defeated his cousin Hinata, he said seriously. Hinata? She thought. Tenten didn't know much about Niji's family history, but she did know that he had a total aversion to his cousin Hinata. She probably fared badly after their confrontation. I see, she said simply. Well, they're in the finals now. Shikamaru Nara is going against the girl from Suna. When he said that, he saw Tenten's eyes narrow slightly. The makeup guy is going against the only one left from Kurenai's team. The redhead with the pumpkin is going against the genin who looks like a mummy from Odo. And Lee is waiting for the opponent from the last match between Niji and Naruto-kun. Is Niji going against Uzumaki? She said, surprised. That's right, although I'm grateful that I'm helping you. My bet is on Niji. Also, in the next round, Lee and Niji will face off, so I hope you can support both of them, he said with a smile. Tenten didn't answer. Niji would fight Uzumaki Naruto. It was obvious Niji would finish him off. But there was something bothering her. Something she couldn't find. Guy-sensei, I need to train. Can you help me? Hey, take it easy, Tenten. You just woke up and you can't go straight to training. She tried to calm her student. Besides, I have to help Lee with his training for the finals. Niji decided to train alone. Tenten knew that her sensei had to prioritize her teammate who was in the final, and that's what bothered her. She was the only person on her team who had succumbed, the only one who wasn't in the finals. It was shameful to have ended up like all the other women in this village. None of them made it past the preliminaries. It was humiliating. Well, I'll train by myself, she retorted, turning to the doctor. Can I come out? I feel fine. Tenten, wait. I tried to dissuade her. In fact, she's fine, said the doctor. She can go out whenever she wants. Good, Tenten said as she got up, grabbed her clothes, and headed to the bathroom to change. I mustn't waste any time. I must strive to catch up with them, even if I'm not in the finals, but I'm not going to fall behind, she thought as she changed. Tenten came out of the bathroom and saw that the doctor was no longer there. But her sensei was still there and was looking at her with a serious expression. Guy-sensei, don't look at me like that. I shouldn't just stand by and do nothing, he said. But it's still too early for you to start working on your body, Guy said. That's not true. It's a good time to do it. They won't catch me off guard again, she justified herself. This won't erase your defeat against Temari. Tenten, Guy said seriously. This annoyed Tenten, remembering that she was defeated after bragging so much. It's not just because of that, grumbled the bun girl. So that's why you're not in the finals? He asked, trying to understand her, and then her eyes widened in comprehension. He had known Tenten for over a year and knew how to recognize what caused her to be upset when something bothered her a lot. It's because Naruto-kun saved you, right? Guy had struck right at the heart of the matter, a wound to his pride. Knowing that he was rescued like a weak girl, just like those silly girls Sakura and Ino, was something he couldn't allow himself to live with. Just leave me alone, Guy-sensei, he said as he ran out of the room, hoping that his sensei hadn't seen the tears that were starting to fall from his face. Present tense. Now, 26 days after the finals began, Tenten was about to explode. Her training had stalled, and no matter how hard she tried, she wasn't seeing any improvement. She needed her sensei to help her. Tenten prided herself on being self-sufficient from a young age, having been orphaned. Unlike many children who lost their families to the Kyuubi attack, Tenten was the other kind of orphan, the kind their parents abandon at the orphanage door without a second thought. Without thinking if the little girl might suffer from the damn cold that winter night, or if one day she would have trouble shrinking a career or have doubts about her body or maybe about boys. No. She was one of those orphans who were alone in the world. After the Kyuubi attack, the growing number of children forced the council to open a second orphanage. Unfortunately, the small budget meant it was opened near the red light district, the worst place to raise children, unlike the other orphanage at the foot of Hokage Rock where she had been. Growing up in the orphanage taught her many things. First, you're on your own. No matter how many friends you think you have, you must always think of yourself. Otherwise, you might lose your dinner, your bed, your bathroom, and so on. She didn't know what the treatment was like at the second orphanage in the village, but for a place in the district of prostitutes and thugs, it couldn't have been very nice. There were even rumors that they sold children into prostitution, or at least that's what the staff at her orphanage said when someone complained. That's why her own orphanage wasn't exactly a beacon of charity, since the staff didn't take proper care of the children. They took away their dinners, their belongings, even their clothes, and generally all the money meant for their upkeep was kept by them and used for who knows what. When Tenten discovered that she could leave the orphanage if she took the shinobi path, she decided to do so almost instantly. Traveling to the library in search of information about the life that awaited her, she found the one who would be her symbol, her guide, and her goal, Tsunade Senju, a woman who proved herself strong, powerful, determined, and above all self-sufficient. Considered the best medical ninja the village, and perhaps the entire shinobi world, had ever produced, with the strength to single-handedly take down entire platoons, and a name etched in history as one of the 3 Sannin, she was inspired. She wanted to be like her, self-sufficient and recognized. She didn't need parents who abandoned her or friends who feigned kindness to steal her dinner. No, she could do it alone. She would never again be weak, never again be vulnerable. She would be recognized as a great shinobi woman, perhaps even one whom Tsunade herself would take as her apprentice and successor. With that in mind, she enrolled in the Shinobi Academy at age 6. The expectation was to graduate as a genin at age 11, so it would take approximately 5 years to leave that orphanage and be able to live on her own. Over time, she began to realize that the path to becoming the next Tsunade Senju wouldn't be found at the academy. The challenge was minimal. Bushin, clone, and henge, transformation, were all they learned, and Tenten could do it easily. Although she had to admit she could do it because her chakra was really small and those ninjutsu only required a little chakra to handle. But well, it was better than not being able to do it and being a complete loser like Lee was back then, being bad at all 3 jutsu styles, ninjutsu, taijutsu, and jinjutsu. After the exam, and surprised to find herself paired with the year's loser and rookie, Tenten was ready to begin her training to become a great medical ninja like Tsunade. It was just a matter of meeting her sensei, who would give her the tools to achieve it. Upon meeting the extroverted Mike guy, she ended up disappointed and frustrated with her luck. Of all the jonin she could have been paired with, she got the only one who was good only at taijutsu. It wasn't that he was bad or incapable of ninjutsu, but he lacked the ability to help her reach her goal. So, she put her frustration behind her and decided to succeed on her own, as she had done all her life. Tenten sought help in the library after her D-class missions with the now new mini-guy that was Rock Lee and the boy Niji. I have a stick up my ass that makes me believe I'm too good to talk to them, Hyuga. But despite that, Tenten did not rest in trying to learn medical ninjutsu. Her dream was to reach that great woman who was still waiting for her, but it was all in vain. She realized when her efforts bore no fruit. She even worked as an assistant at the hospital for a while, but quit everything when they told her she didn't have the ability to become a medical ninja, not with her poor chakra control. Even though she tried hard and took every lesson to manage it, her chakra control was limited, some stupid genetic inheritance from one of her parents. After abandoning me and leaving me alone against the world, they still have ways of messing up my life, she thought. She spent a whole month depressed when she saw all her dreams and goals vanishing before her eyes. Although her team tried to cheer her up, her sensei and Lee trying to force her to train with them so that the fire of youth would warm her from within, and Niji trying to make her understand that her attitude was only a limitation for the team and only a burden for him. Well, living off Niji was the best he could do. Stupid antisocial. She grumbled, thinking of the Hyuga. Tenten didn't know what to do. She was frustrated, depressed, and aimless. Tsunade Senju seemed further and further away, and she couldn't do anything to reach her, not being a medical ninja like her. Then she realized it. She knew she couldn't be a medical ninja, but she could be something else. She could be the best in another discipline and thus be recognized by her idol, who knows, maybe even have a bigger name than hers someday. But the question was what to do. She wasn't good at ninjutsu and didn't know any genjutsu, and she wouldn't stand out in taijutsu with Lee and Gai Sensei getting stronger all the time. But then what? And the answer came in the form of kenjutsu. She knew how to handle weapons, she was good at it, she knew a person's vital points from what she learned during her time in the hospital, and from what she knew, There were only 2 people in the village who excelled at Kenjutsu, and they specialized in katanas. She decided that she would be the best at Kenjutsu in general. Any weapon, any style, she would master it. And then came the Chunin exams, and her moment to begin forging her own path, to start the legend of the girl who would surpass Tsunade. Looking at her rivals, they weren't much to write home about. From her own village, there were the pathetic Uchiha fangirls. If she thought the silly girls who fawned over Niji during his academy years were a joke, seeing the girls who followed Sasuke was even more ridiculous. They had no attitude, no discipline. They were a disgrace to the name of Kunoichi. Then there was Hinata Hyuga, who, she'd heard, was Niji's cousin. She was a girl without backbone or character, who seemed more fragile than glass. Tenten thought that girl wouldn't last a B-rank mission, if they ever even got one. Daodo Osuna didn't know what to expect when the preliminaries arrived, but seeing the Nara boy defeat that Kin girl motivated her to believe that she was the most superior woman there. But she was so wrong. Tamari Dasuna showed her that her dream of reaching Tsunade was even further away. She exposed her shortcomings, her weaknesses. She entered the game where a triumphant Tamari awaited her like a wolf, and she, an innocent and gullible lamb, fell right into it. Those damn exams turned her world upside down, and the cherry on top of all her problems was none other than Naruto Uzumaki, the clown who luckily had defeated Sasuke Uchiha, the one she found pleasant during the time they spoke, but all that evaporated when he decided to play the hero and save her. She knew she should be grateful that she hadn't died or been seriously injured, but Naruto had made all those years of being self-sufficient, of not needing someone to rescue her like the other fools in this village. All those years went to waste in a single altruistic act. She didn't ask for his help, and although she wasn't entirely sure, she believed she would have preferred to have been impaled by those weapons than to be rescued by the blonde boy. She decided to channel her frustration into her training, but it was so intense that she couldn't achieve any results. Then she decided to help Niji train. Perhaps through him, she could avenge the affront the Uzumaki had caused her. At first, Niji had refused. So arrogant was he that he said he didn't need anyone's help. But after days of insisting, Niji gave in, and now here we are, with Tenten heading to the Hyuga clan's personal training grounds. They had achieved great results. Niji was the strongest genin in Konoha to this day. Naruto would be no problem at all, and Lee would have a very intense battle. Although Tenten's predictions were that Niji would come out on top, perhaps Gaara would be a problem, but Niji might be able to overcome him. "You're late," Niji said with a serious face. "Sorry. I couldn't find anything for breakfast and I had an existential crisis. You know, I've had trouble accepting things. I don't care about your problems, Tenten. I must prepare for my battle with Gaara. He is a dangerous rival, and I must not underestimate him," Niji said sharply. "But what about Uzumaki and Lee? I thought you said you weren't going to underestimate them," Tenten asked, annoyed that Niji didn't care about her problems and that he was rude in interrupting her. "Them? Let's face it, they're failures who only live in fantastic dreams to cover up their pathetic destiny," said the Hyuga contemptuously. "With how strong and skilled I've been in the clan's art, I doubt they're worthy rivals for me." "Now you won't ask any more silly questions, we have to start training," demanded the boy. "Whatever," Tenten said, pulling out her scrolls. "I really hope your stupid absolute defense of the Hakusho Kaiten, 8 trigram palm rotation, fails and one of the weapons hits you right in the ass and shoves that stick you have buried in you even deeper," she thought, genuinely annoyed. "Sashoryu, rising twin dragons," the girl announced. Several hours later, both panting genin were taking a breather before finishing this session. Hundreds of weapons were scattered everywhere, and a tired but unharmed Niji was recovering. "Well, it's complete. With this, I can defend myself against Gaara's sand attacks. Don't forget about Lee and Uzumaki," Tenten reminded, almost breathless. "What's your problem with Uzumaki?" Niji reprimanded her. "You've been talking about him in a hostile way for days." Tenten, who hadn't expected this, couldn't find the words to explain to her partner what had happened. "Look, I have a problem with him. I just need you to teach him a lesson, okay?" the bun girl asked. "And why should I do anything for you?" Niji asked disdainfully. "Because you're my damn teammate, and because I can't face him in the finals," Tenten replied, starting to get angry. Your problems don't interest me, Tenten, Niji replied coldly. I will defeat Uzumaki because that is what destiny has foretold, not because you wish it, and if you cannot face him it is because of your weakness. You should have been stronger, but no, you are just as useless as that fool Hinata or any other woman in this village. He told her without hesitation. Yeah, well, go to hell, Hyuga, Tenten said, seething with rage, and stormed out of the Hyuga fields through a gate. Stupid Niji, Tenten thought angrily. What a great teammate you are. You're just an arrogant idiot, she thought as she headed towards the village. Hey, can I talk to you? A voice called from behind her. Tenten turned around and saw Haruno Sakura. Just what I needed. The loser from her team comes to bother me, she thought in frustration. What do you want? Tenten growled, in no mood to talk. Hey, calm down. I'm looking for Naruto. Do you know where I can find him? The pink-haired girl asked, following in his footsteps. Naruto, Naruto, Naruto. Everything was the now in this time. Tenten was fed up with hearing that name constantly, and it made her blood boil like never before. I don't know where he is. She growled and left without allowing the other girl to say another word. Hey, wait! Naruto's companion tried to stop her. Don't bother me. Tenten growled as she continued on her way with a single goal in mind. It's all your fault, Uzumaki. I'm going to find you and make mincemeat of you. The weapon user, in a fit of rage, searched everywhere for the blonde Uzumaki, but without success. She knew nothing about him or the places he frequented. I need someone to tell me where to find him. I could have accompanied Haruno to find him, but just being near her makes me sick. So you work with that hottie? I hear a familiar voice nearby. You do know that he's about 5 years older than you, right? Another voice replied. That doesn't make her any less of a cutie, the first voice replied. Well, from what I could see, your sister isn't bad either, the other replied. What did you say, you bastard? He growled. Tenten searched for the source of that familiar voice, and when she found it, she found a genin boy with a puppy on his head. She couldn't remember his name, but according to Gai-sensei, he had lost to Lee. He was accompanied by a boy she couldn't identify. He's from Uzumaki's generation. I saw him talking to him before the preliminaries at the tower. He's definitely his friend and can tell me where to find him, she said, and headed towards the boy. Hey, wait here, you two, I shouted to get their attention. I need to ask the dog guy something. You're the girl from the Hyuga team, right? The boy with the dog asked when Tenten caught up with them. I'm Kiba and this is my dog Akamaru, he said, pointing to his puppy who barked in response. Tenten, annoyed at being reminded of Niji and even more annoyed because her name was only associated with being Niji's teammate, Tenten. She introduced herself reluctantly. I'm Nagato, in case anyone was wondering, said the other boy. Whatever, Tenten said disdainfully. I need to know where to find Naruto Uzumaki. Why do you want to know? Kiba asked curiously. It's none of your business. Tell me where to find it, the girl growled. With an arrogant smile, Kiba replied, If you don't tell me, I won't tell you. I must look after my friend's interests. Listen carefully, you little flea-ridden mutt, Tenten growled with a demonic aura, grabbing Kiba by the collar of his shirt and pulling him close to her face. I'm not in the mood for games. If you don't want to feel what most of your clan does to their dogs in their reproductive parts, I suggest you cooperate, she finished, frightening Kiba, Akamaru, and Nagato. Kiba, too scared to answer, was saved by Nagato, who, trying to calm things down, said, Why don't you try Ichiraka Ramen in the shopping district? It's a place he frequents a lot. Tenten, satisfied with this information, released the boy and walked purposefully towards the shopping area. Damn it. First Ino and now her. What the hell is wrong with them? Why are they all looking for Naruto? Kiba growled. I don't know, and they're not the only ones. Sakura has also been looking for him for days. By Kami, he defeats Sasuke, and Naruto gains animal magnetism. Though I don't envy him, he's just a crazy woman who seeks him out, Kiba muttered. You can say that again, Nagato replied simply. Finding the ramen restaurant was easy. He had visited this place a couple of times in his youth and remembered that the cook was a good person, kind and hardworking. He hoped that she could give him information about where Naruto was. When I pass through the curtain, the first thing I hear is the welcome from the cook girl. Welcome to Ichirayaku. My name is Iam. What would you like to order? I'm sorry, I'm fine for now, Tenten said, trying to be friendly. I'm looking for Naruto Uzumaki. I was told he frequents this place. Do you know where I can find him, Naruto-kun? I don't really know where he is, she said, thinking about where he could be. He's only come around a few times this month, since he's been preparing for the finals. Damn it, Tenten muttered. Well, thanks, she said, turning to leave. Wait, Iam stopped her. You're Gai-sensei's student, right? Iam thought, trying to remember the name Irika had said. Tenten-san, right? Yes, she said, turning around, confused as to how the waitress knew her name. Oh, so you're Naruto-kun's girlfriend? She asked, smiling. What? Tenten shouted, her left eye twitching. If you're the girl he rescued in his arms and saved from almost dying, Iam said, putting both hands together. How romantic! Tenten was speechless. Did this girl say that Uzumaki was her boyfriend and that he saved her? Is that what people believed? Damn you, Uzumaki. You've ruined everything I've worked for. Now everyone will see me as the girl you saved. I'll make you pay for this offense, she thought angrily. Don't talk nonsense, Tenten growled. What? Iam asked, confused. Don't talk nonsense, Tenten repeated furiously. I would never go out with a loser like him. And then Iam's almost always cheerful expression fell away and was replaced by anger. That was very rude, she growled. I don't care, retorted the bun girl. I already have enough problems without people coming here and saying stupid things like that. Well, you're right, it's nonsense. I doubt Naruto-kun would be interested in someone as rude, impolite, and undoubtedly unattractive as you. What did you say? Tenten growled furiously. Pocoagracia. Iam repeated, emphasizing each syllable. Tenten wasn't known for thinking about appearance and physical attributes, things considered feminine, so she had never had a problem when her academy classmates said it. She just ignored it. But for this civilian to emphasize that point and, above all, to doubt that she was worthy of the attention of someone like Uzumaki, had offended her like never before. Come on, girls. Don't fight. We need to calm down. Tucci tried to soothe the tempers. You stay out of it. You stay out of it, they both said with fire in their eyes. Listen carefully, cook. I would be worthy of anyone, even your Naruto-kun. The weapon user growled contemptuously when speaking of the Uzumaki. What's more, he should make an effort to be worthy of me, she said without thinking. Yes, of course, the one who should be making an effort is someone else, Iam said disdainfully. Me strive? For him? Ha! Don't make me laugh. He has no talent. His victory against the Uchiha was based on luck, Tenten said bitterly. Don't make me laugh, he beat Uchiha-san fair and square. Aren't ninjas supposed to win their missions no matter what? Even though his victory was based on luck, as you say, he's in the final. And tell me, where does that leave you? She emphasized venomously. I don't think he's a loser because he's still in the competition. But tell me, what are you, since you're not? I think the real loser is someone else, she mocked. Say that again, you bitch. Tenten growled, almost about to explode, as she moved closer to her. Loser, Iam repeated, also approaching as their eyes connected like lightning. If you're looking for Naruto, I can tell you where he is, said a voice to his right. They both looked away and saw Yamanaka Ino sitting eating a bowl of ramen. I just saw him at training ground number 7, near the lake, training camp number 7? With this information, Tenten knew where to go, so, giving the cook one last hostile look, she ran out of the place. Why did you tell her where to find him? The cook demanded of Ino. Oh, believe me, she won't like finding him, Ino said as she rubbed her stomach. The place where Naruto had hit her a few days ago. She has to go through this, I know, I lived it. I suppose? Iam murmured as she began to calm down. Hey, you're very brave for a civilian. Not just anyone faces a ninja, especially a deranged one like that girl, Ino praised. Well, I did it for my little brother, Iam said simply. I'm surprised you didn't explode when I mentioned Uchiha-san. I thought you were just like that Sakura girl. Hey, let's not start with the insults, Ino complained playfully when compared to Sakura. The truth is, something happened a few days ago that opened my eyes, so I don't jump to conclusions about that subject anymore. Besides, Ino said, smiling, I think it's safe to say there's someone else who has my attention right now. I understand, said Iam. Good luck then. Thank you, Dash, said Ino, getting up. Well, in any case, said Ino, giving a wicked smile. Tell me in detail about the rumor of Naruto and his relationship with that girl, Dash. Tenten had arrived at training ground number 7, near the lake. That Yamanaka girl told me she would be here. Where could she be? She wondered, looking all around. I knew Ino couldn't keep any secrets, said an annoyed voice. Tenten turned around and watched as Naruto Uzumaki appeared from a bush. Finally, Tenten thought victoriously. I was looking for you, Dash. Me? Why? Naruto asked, confused, removing branches from his hair and clothes. Wait. You're Panda-chan, he said, recognizing the girl. Tenten's right eye twitched. What did you call me? Sorry, I don't quite remember your name, he said, putting a hand on the back of his neck. And it's easier to call you that, you know, because of your buns, he said, miming with his hands on his head. Whatever, I'll get that too, Tenten hissed. Charge you? Naruto asked, confused. I've come to get revenge for what you've done to me, he growled. Did I do something to you? He asked again, confused. You did it to me, she replied angrily. Aren't you confusing me with that Nagato kid? Naruto tried to calm him down. Because I assure you, whatever he did to you has nothing to do with me, he clarified. I don't know who the hell Nagato is, but the problem is with you, with what you did to me in the Chunin exam. What did I do to you? Naruto said, even more confused. You saved me, Tenten growled. A moment of complete silence filled the entire place after those words. When Naruto pondered that sentence, his only reaction was to tilt his head to the side and say, Yes, you remember when Temari threw me into the arms? You saved me, the girl retorted. And you're upset about that? Naruto asked, not understanding the problem. Of course. How do you want it to be? The gun user replied disdainfully. I don't know how grateful you are. Naruto replied angrily. You're not grated cheese to me. Nobody asked for your help, the girl replied. I know, and I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. It happened. Get over it, the blonde replied, even more annoyed. I won't get over it until I teach you a lesson. Tenten growled, pulling out a scroll. 2 acts of revenge in 1 week. How annoying, Naruto muttered irritably. How do I know you're not using that excuse to find out how he fought and tell your boyfriend Hyuga? He's not my boyfriend, and I'm not like that, the girl growled. Well, I don't believe you. He's probably waiting for his girlfriend to tell him the secrets to defeating his rivals. How pathetic, Naruto emphasized. That's not true, Tenten shouted. I'm not the kind of person who spies on others for someone else. And pointing a finger at Naruto, she added, Besides, you're my boyfriend. After this statement, another silence was heard, but this time both boys blushed furiously. What are you saying? Naruto stammered, embarrassed. Nothing, Tenten tried to say, equally embarrassed by her mistake. Ugh. See, you make me say stupid things. So let's shut up and go fight, she said, summoning a staff from the scroll. Whatever you want, Panda-chan. I won't make it easy for you, Naruto said, smiling arrogantly. I wouldn't ask it any other way, Tenten said, smiling smugly and charging at Naruto. Take this, he shouted as he attacked with the tip of his staff. But in an instant Naruto disappeared from sight. What the hell? He's as fast as Lee. Katan, Kitsunabe, Fire Element, Firefox, was heard, and from the sky a great fire in the shape of a fox was heading towards the girl. Elemental jutsu? Can she use them? But her reasoning ended when she dodged it almost miraculously. Rolling on the ground, he got back into position. This boy is more dangerous than I suspected. I think I underestimated him. I must be alert or he will finish me off. What's wrong, Panda-chan? Did I scare you? Naruto teased. You wish, grumbled the bun girl. I admit you surprised me. I thought you were a complete failure. But I see you have some skills, and you haven't even seen everything yet. The boy smiled. Believe me, I'll beat your teammates in the finals. I don't think so, because if you can't beat me, then you certainly can't beat them. And he charged at Naruto again. With each attack Tenten used, Naruto dodged it, making it look very easy. And with each moment Tenten became more frustrated. Damn it! Why can't I hit him? She growled as she tried to hit him faster. This doesn't work, said Naruto. And taking the staff in one hand and applying force, he managed to break it in half. No! Tenten moaned, but quickly recovered and, jumping back swiftly, pulled out 2 scrolls and activated them. Sashoryu, announced the girl, ready to unleash the rain of weapons. Naruto saw the attack Tenten had used on Temari resurface. That won't work. I know the concept and I also know its weakness. And making a hand seal and inhaling deeply, I prepare my attack. Futon, Hanabi, wind element, pyrotechnics. I declared as a large ball of air shot out of Naruto's mouth, and upon hitting one of the weapons it exploded and hundreds of air projectiles deflected all the weapons, cutting the threads around them and sending Tenten flying, who fell heavily to the ground. Impossible! Does he have 2 elemental affinities? She groaned in surprise, slowly getting up from the ground. I wouldn't say just 2, said a voice behind her, surprising her. As she tried to turn around quickly, she saw Naruto bringing 2 fingers closer to her. I can't dodge it, the girl thought as the boy placed his fingers on her forehead. Raitun, Hoden, lightning release, discharge. I declared as an electric discharge passed through Tenten's entire body. The attack was surprisingly not painful, but it had numbed most of her body at the moment. Done, said Naruto. I've beaten you. That's what you think. I'm still conscious, Tenten said. But then she discovered something. She couldn't move. What's happening? What did you do to me? I sent an electric shock to all your nerve endings that caused a short circuit, and therefore, none of them respond to you now, he said proudly. He had invented this attack 2 days ago after Ino had done something similar to him. Surprised by this attack, she tried her best to move, but not a single finger responded. Defeated, she lowered her gaze to the ground, trying to prevent tears from welling up in her eyes. Now that no one is going to fight, we could talk civilly and try to reach an agreement, Naruto suggested, letting himself fall to the ground and looking at Tenten. There's nothing to talk about. You beat me fair and square. I'm just a failure, he said as tears welled up on his face. Hey, I don't think you're a failure, Naruto tried to encourage him. Remember? The failures were Sakura and maybe Hinata, he pointed out. I could say Ino too, but she's my friend now and promised to change for the better. Who are you trying to fool? Temari beat me easily. You beat me easily, the girl retorted. Well, your technique isn't bad, but it has a big disadvantage against futon attacks. But cheer up, I think there are only 2 other wind users in this village besides me, and neither of them are our age, Naruto said, trying to cheer her up. Yes, but out there are many people who are users, and then my attacks will be repelled, complained the bun girl. Well then do something else, Naruto replied, not understanding why there was so much fuss. You don't necessarily have to do the same thing. I can't do anything else, the girl shouted. I don't have the skills for anything else, she added almost in a whisper. I see, said Naruto. And you'll let that define you? What? What if you let your defeats define you? From what I can see, that's what it's doing, said the blonde man. You know nothing about me, the girl snapped. You have no idea how difficult my life has been. I don't know for sure, Naruto replied, standing up. But you're not the only one who's been through some tough times. What's the hardest thing you've ever experienced? Not being able to eat ramen for a week, Tenten mocked, annoyed. Well, that and being an orphan, being kicked out of the orphanage at age 4, living on the streets for months, having to pay double because the villagers raised the price of everything I needed to live, not having any friends throughout my childhood because their parents forbade it, and the only one who dared to make friends forgot about me after a few weeks and acted as if she didn't know me, being hated by a large number of people just for being born on the same day as the Kyuubi attack. Shall I continue? The blonde man said seriously. Tenten was speechless, surprised by what she was hearing. It can't be true. It's not possible that this boy has lived through the same things as me, maybe more, and he's still sane, she said to herself in amazement, doubting. I wasn't good at the academy. I couldn't even do a measly Bushin no Jutsu even as a genin. I had no talent or chakra control, but I decided that none of that would define me, neither my shortcomings nor my past, and I don't see why your past and your shortcomings define you too. Tenten didn't answer. She remained thoughtful, thinking, they don't. Then what defines me? But her thought was broken when she felt herself being lifted up and realized that Naruto had carried her again, now on his back. What are you doing? Replied the girl, who had blushed. Well, the truth is I'm sleepy and I want to go to sleep, but I can't leave you here, so I'll take you home. No, I can stay there until the effect wears off, I try to say, stuttering. The effect wears off in 9 hours and it would be around 5 in the morning when it happens. I can't leave you there, replied the blonde. So don't be a princess and tell me where you live. Don't call me princess, the girl growled. Do you know I'll make you pay for waking me up like this? I still don't see the problem, the boy replied, not understanding the girl's annoyance with this kind of thing. It's a long story, Tenten murmured as she told him where she lived. Well, we have plenty of time, Panda-chan, said the blonde boy cheerfully, knowing that it wouldn't be long before he could rest in his own bed. My name is Tenten, the girl grumbled. I see, well, tell me that story. Panda-chan, the boy teased. Tisk, damn it, the girl simply said as she recounted how things had happened from her point of view. Chapter 13. The Search for Uzumaki 3. Friendship. For days earlier. Are you sure it's going to work, Ino-chan? Nagato asked doubtfully. Of course it's going to work. Naruto is a fool and a loser. He beat Sasuke by sheer luck, the blonde said confidently. Come on. How strong could he have gotten in almost 9 days before the start of the finals? This will be a piece of cake. I'm not so sure, Nagato said, unsure how to tell her that Naruto was stronger than she could have imagined. I can't tell her without revealing my identity. Damn it, how can I convince her to take this seriously? The boss isn't just any idiot. He can tear us both to pieces if we provoke him. Don't panic, Ino tried to reassure her partner. It's just a matter of you doing your part of the deal. We'll ambush him, and while you keep him occupied, I'll prepare the attack and boom, that's it, Ino said. What are you planning to do? Nagato asked, worried about his friend. It's a secret, Ino said with a smile and a wink. I don't want to spoil the surprise. This isn't going to end well, thought Naruto's clone. Listen, Ino-chan, you shouldn't underestimate me. Underestimate Naruto. Yes, underestimate him, he said nervously, correcting his slip. If he's in the finals, it's for a reason, so whatever you plan to do to him, don't do it thinking he's a weakling because I'm not. He's not, he corrected again. You're very nervous, Nagato-kun, Ino said. Take it easy. This is a piece of cake for both of us, she said calmly. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Be on time, okay? And she ran off towards her house. Wait, Ino-chan, Nagato tried to say, but the girl had already left. I really hope everything goes well, he sighed. Ino was resting in her bed thinking about what would happen tomorrow. Well, it's just a matter of not making a mistake. Nagato-kun will be able to distract the fool long enough for me to take care of him. I'll make him pay for what he did to Sasuke-kun, she said determinedly. Ino's obsession with Naruto had grown day by day. Not a morning went by that she didn't wake up cursing the blonde Uzumaki for causing Sasuke's elimination from the Chunin exams. Not a day went by that she didn't hate with all her being how he had treated Sakura after defeating Sasuke. Not a day went by that she wasn't bothered that that fool had dared to change the status quo of what she believed. Because how was it possible that a talentless idiot could defeat the #1 rookie in the village and even have the nerve to believe he did it through his own merit and not by luck? No. She wasn't going to tolerate that affront. She would make that fool pay dearly for what he had done. Growing up within a prestigious clan allowed Ino to understand the village and its politics, and being the heir and only child allowed her to be treated like a princess. Ino admitted it. She was selfish, spoiled, and egocentric. She had everything she wanted: intelligence, beauty, and an influential family. The only thing she lacked was a boyfriend who would treat her like the princess she was. And her sights had fallen on Sasuke Uchiha of the Uchiha clan, the most handsome and mysterious boy she had ever met. Sasuke had everything she looked for in a guy. He was handsome, strong, and came from a prestigious clan like her. They were the perfect match, born for each other. The only problem was that Sasuke didn't seem to acknowledge Ino's existence. It wasn't just with her, but with everyone. That's why Ino never felt bad about being ignored and rejected. That was Sasuke's nature, to be cold and distant. That makes me love him even more, she thought. Ino would not give up until she became Sasuke Uchiha's girlfriend. It was her destiny. It was what she had fought for years. It was what she lost her friendship with Sakura for. Sakura was a great friend to her as she grew up. She was being bullied by the stupid Amy and her group of losers when Ino found her. Deciding that this girl did not deserve such treatment, she decided to protect her from abuse. Since she was a member of a powerful clan, she was untouchable to Amy and her rich but civil family. So Ino took Sakura under her wing and met a sweet and kind girl, but fearful and lacking in self-esteem. The more she got to know her, the more she realized that the girl was like a scared kitten. She didn't defend herself against the bullying. She accepted every insult and even seemed to believe them. All of this gave Ino a bad feeling, and knowing that it could cause psychological damage, she decided to try to help her raise her self-esteem by telling her how beautiful she was, or how strong she could be. This brought many positive aspects to the girl, who little by little opened up and gained confidence. Everything was perfect back then. She had a beautiful family. She was the prettiest girl her age, and now she had a best friend, a sister like the one she'd always dreamed of having. But it all crumbled when they both set their sights on the dark-haired Uchiha. Ino wasn't the type to give up or compromise for others, so with a heavy heart, she decided that Sakura could no longer be her friend and ended up seeing her as an annoying rival in her quest for the boy of her dreams. All the affection and friendship turned into aversion toward the pink-haired girl, and she even became one of those who mocked Sakura for her prominent forehead, which was ironic because she was the one who had defended her the most from those insults. But he could no longer back down. It was all to fulfill his childhood dream, to keep his dream world intact, something that was shaken when Naruto got involved. Naruto was a boy, there was no other word to describe him, a loser. Since childhood, he had always had that silly habit of getting into trouble and wanting to attract attention, something he obviously lacked being an orphan. Ino knew she should feel sorry for the boy, but seeing him so foolish and noisy only annoyed her. But something else that affected her view of Naruto was his new friendship with Sakura. When she became friends with Sakura, there were already rumors that Sakura was Naruto's best friend, so it was strange that Sakura was hostile towards him. When Ino asked Sakura, she confidently stated that she didn't know Naruto. Then she understood that either Naruto was lying or Sakura was pretending not to know him, which made sense since it was because of Naruto that Amy and her group were so vicious towards Sakura. Amy hated Naruto but didn't dare bother him, so she set her sights on someone close to him. That's why she understood that Sakura no longer wanted anything to do with him. She couldn't handle the pressure of being the #1 outcast's friend anymore. So, wanting to help Sakura and at Naruto's insistence, she began to mistreat the boy along with Sakura. While the pink-haired girl was aggressive and physically abused him, Ino was even more hostile, humiliating him personally. Day after day, Ino bothered him, telling him what a loser he was, reminding him that he had no friends, and even once told him that he was an orphan because his parents regretted having him and abandoned him. Not that she was proud to tell him this, but come on. She was a child at the time and she did it so that he would leave Sakura alone. But no matter how badly they treated her, the boy didn't give up on seeking Sakura's affection, something that frustrated and surprised her. No one else would have endured so much humiliation, yet he still insisted on being close to his friend. After Ino and Sakura ended their friendship, she let the pink-haired girl take care of Naruto alone, but she was still rude to him. It had become a habit. When she saw him join Sasuke-kun's team, she knew he would be a burden to them, but that wasn't her problem. But now that blonde boy was her problem. He had defeated her beloved and taken away her chance to see him become a Chunin, something Ino thought was necessary for her fairy tale dream to come true. Tomorrow everything will return to normal. I'm sorry for Naruto, but you'll have to say goodbye to your dream of becoming a Chunin. That's what you gain by messing with Ino Yamanaka and what she loves, she said decisively. Nagato had arrived at his home, or rather the home of his creator. Being a living clone was a constant headache since he was two different people at the same time, Naruto and Nagato. Being Nagato is complicated, the boy murmured. Having to deal with different people in different ways, especially being friends with Ino-chan, was different. Nagato still retained the memories of Naruto's childhood, and he remembered that there was no bigger bitch in his life than Yamanaka Ino. Humiliations, mockery, degradation, that and more was what Ino gave to his life. He never understood her hatred towards him, why she attacked him so much, but now he sees the other side of Ino, that of a happy, self-assured, cheerful and determined girl. He felt confused about how to feel towards her. He liked her a lot. It was fun having a friend like her, and being Nagato made things different. There were no more hateful looks or hostile comments towards him. For the first time, he felt like he wasn't the village outcast, but he knew this wouldn't last. It would soon be dissipated and would never exist again. Are you going to eat or not? Naruto asked as he watched his clone staring into the distance, deep in thought. Coming out of his thoughts, Nagato began to eat the dinner that Naruto had silently prepared. Are you okay? Naruto asked. Yes, I'm just thinking about a few things for tomorrow, Nagato replied simply. Well, I hope everything goes well for you. How's work? Is it easy to handle? Naruto asked, trying to figure out what was bothering Nagato. Yes, everything is simple and calm, the boy said simply. Seeing his cause as lost, Naruto decided to go to sleep. Anyway, good night. Don't stay up too late. Tomorrow promises to be a good day, he said. If tomorrow will be a good day, the clone murmured without really thinking about it. The next day. Okay. Are you ready? Ino asked. Yes, Nagato said uncertainly. Then what's the idea? He asked. Well, the first thing is to follow him and watch him. At some point he will have to separate himself from everyone and that will be the moment to attack him, Ino explained. And how will you do it? Nagato asked. That's a surprise, Ino said again, winking and playfully sticking her tongue out. Damn it, Nagato thought worriedly. With that attitude the boss is going to make mincemeat of her, he wondered. Just be careful, Ino-chan, the boy murmured. Don't worry, it'll be a piece of cake. The girl tried to reassure her friend. I hope you're right, Nagato murmured. Good going, said Ino. It took them 20 minutes to locate Naruto, who was eating very calmly at Ichiraku. It was to be expected, Ino whispered. Well, we'll follow him, and when he gets to a place where there are no people, we'll start the plan. Okay, Nagato whispered back. Following Naruto was simple but disconcerting. He spent hours at the ramen restaurant, then more with Irika-sensei, and then a couple more at the barbecue restaurant with a girl with glasses that Ino didn't recognize, and all the time he had strange devices in his ears. Doesn't this idiot plan on training, or what? She said desperately as she hid in a bush a few meters from the blonde Uzumaki. Well, maybe it's his day off. There are 8 days left until the start of the finals. Maybe he'll use this week to rest, Nagato opined. I should have asked him what he would do on his day off. How stupid of me, dash. This is so absurd. Ino shouted, then immediately covered her mouth. Hello? Is anyone there? Said Naruto as he took off one of his earbuds. Damn it! Ino and Nagato thought frantically. Their plan was about to be ruined by a careless mistake. I'm sure I heard someone scream, Naruto muttered, looking around, as Ino and Nagato began to sweat profusely. Don't let him find us. Don't let him find us, they thought frantically. Whatever, the boy sighed, shrugging his shoulders in resignation and putting on his earphone to continue listening to his music. Oh great, I like this song. We're safe, thought Ino as she slowly peeked out to see where Naruto was. He was walking calmly while singing. Aratake no yum wa keikiyetsum, Sagashimono wa sagashiranai yuku no ese. He sang. Damn, they should make a program about this song. I'd watch it, the blonde murmured happily. That was close, Nagato sighed. Yes, I thought it was all over. But luckily the idiot doesn't realize someone is following him, Ino murmured, trying to calm her breathing. Well, I think this is our chance. He's heading to the training grounds, said Nagato, who was starting to feel unwell. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Upon realizing this information, Ino regained her composure and said to her friend, "All right, Nagato-kun, let's go," and headed towards where Naruto had gone. "Hi," the boy replied, following her. "Because I feel like I'm missing something dash." Minutes later, they watched Naruto arrive at training field number 7. Then he leaned against a tree and fell asleep resting. "Perfect. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for," Ino murmured excitedly as her plan was on track. Watching Naruto sleep. "So you think it's right to do it now?" Nagato asked uncertainly as he looked at his original. "Of course, the fool has already fallen asleep. I don't think he'll put up much resistance." "I don't know, Ino-chan. This doesn't seem safe to me," Nagato murmured. "You're being very negative, Nagato-kun. What's wrong with you?" the blonde said, annoyed. "I feel like we're forgetting something," his friend explained, expressing his doubts. "What could we possibly forget?" Thinking of his plan. "Everything is fine dash." "Yes, but don't you think it's all been easy?" the chestnut-haired man questioned. "Well, yes, but it has to be. Naruto doesn't have any real ability besides his clones and the seals he used against Sasuke-kun, and that won't work against us right now, right?" The fight against Sasuke, Nagato thought, remembering how he defeated him with smoke bombs and gravity seals. At that moment, Sasuke realized that Naruto had more tricks up his sleeve besides the Kage Bushin, shadow clones, and his sensor ability. Sensor ability. Nagato thought frantically, realizing he'd forgotten that crucial detail. "He can detect my chakra since it's Kurama's. It's like a beacon for him, even though I have so little left," he remembered. "Ino-chan, wait. There's something we haven't been taking into account," he tried to say, knowing Ino was unaware of this information. "Why have you been following me all day?" a voice asked from behind them. They both swallowed hard and slowly turned around to see a frowning Naruto staring at them with his legs bent in a squatting position. Suddenly, an explosion sounded, and where the sleeping Naruto should have been, there was only a cloud of smoke. "A Kage Bushin?" Nagato thought in surprise. "I knew it. He's been playing with us. So, do you want to give me an answer?" Naruto said as he looked from Ino to his clone. "Damn it. He found us out," Ino thought, feeling a cold sweat break out. "We were just out for a walk. You know, a romantic date and all that dash." "Really?" Nagato asked, blushing and confused. "Me on a date? With Ino-chan?" "Of course," Ino said harshly, annoyed that Nagato didn't understand the plan. "That's right," Nagato said, realizing what Ino was trying to say. "Things about love and all that. That's the dumbest lie I've ever heard. They've been following me all day, so if you're planning something, do it now." "I don't have time to deal with losers," Naruto muttered. "Who are you calling a loser?" "Loser," Ino growled. "Just because you beat Sasuke-kun by luck doesn't mean you're an elite ninja." "Oh, that's right, Uchiha Team's number 2 fan is here," the blonde acknowledged. "But it's true and you know it, Ino. I knocked the idiot out of the competition," Naruto mocked. "That way, history will go down as Naruto Uzumaki defeating and humiliating Sasuke Uchiha." "Shut up. I won't allow you to talk like that," Ino shouted. "Oh yeah? And what do you plan to do, Ino-chan?" Naruto said, giving her a predatory smile. "Me? Nothing yet," Ino smiled smugly. "But Nagato will, right?" "Me?" the shocked clone asked. "If you," Ino said and approached him to whisper. "Remember to keep him entertained long enough for me to prepare the rest of the plan." Then, turning her gaze to Naruto, she said, "Get ready, clumsy oaf, because today we're going to kick your ass and get revenge for what you did to Sasuke-kun." And without another word, she dashed off towards the trees. "INO-chan," Nagato shouted frantically. "Don't leave me alone. I think you owe me an explanation of what's going on," Naruto muttered dangerously. "You think so?" Nagato laughed nervously. "Yes," Naruto replied. "I knew very well that Ino wanted revenge. I was disguised as you when she told me what she was planning a while ago. Remember?" the blonde explained. "What I didn't expect is that you would be helping. Well, you asked me to play a role? Do you forget?" Nagato defended himself. "To be Nagato and for no one to discover me. And for that you need to help Ino with her stupid revenge?" Naruto growled. What the hell are you thinking? Ino-chan has been very good to me. She has helped me find a job, to overcome leaving the shinobi life and not having a family, Nagato emphasized. Naruto's left eye began to twitch at the clone's response. What the hell are you talking about? You didn't have a shinobi life, much less a family. You're me. Have you forgotten that? Naruto retorted angrily. Besides, what's this about Ino-chan? Have you forgotten how she treated us at the academy? That girl was an even bigger bitch than Sakura. I won't allow you to speak to Ino-chan like that. Nagato defended passionately. So that's how it'll be, boss. To keep Ino-chan happy, I'll have to help her kick your ass, even if it costs me my life. He finished, getting into an attack stance. Fine, Naruto sighed as he closed his eyes. If you want to play the hero, I'll give you what you want. And opened his eyes. Nagato trembled as he stared into Naruto's red eyes, knowing that the worst beating of his short life was approaching. Damn it! Nagato groaned. Yash! Ino said as she finished applying perfume to her body. It's ready. Now I'll go help him with Naruto, although I could wait for him to bring the idiot over. I doubt he caused him any trouble, the blonde thought. I hope I didn't knock him unconscious, or it'll be a waste of time waking him up, and I'll have put on the perfume for nothing. He probably just needed the senbon needles, and besides, but what she had to say was cut short when a body flew in her direction at great speed. Ino screamed in shock and quickly moved out of the way of the body, which crashed into a tree and collapsed. What the hell? Ino fell over when she saw Nagato's body, unconscious, beaten, and surrounded by electricity. Nagato Keiyuan, Ino shouted as she approached the body. Nagato-kun, Nagato-kun, answer me, Nagato-kun. Ino called desperately. What the hell happened? What happened is that a couple of losers wanted to play with me and bit off more than they could chew, said Naruto's annoyed voice behind her. Do yourself a favor, Yamanaka, and end this pathetic attempt at revenge. Ino turned around and saw an unscathed Uzumaki Naruto with a frown on his face. What did you do to Nagato-kun? Demanded Ino. I just gave him what he wanted. A dose of reality, Naruto muttered. Tell me, Ino, did you really think you and your boyfriend stood a chance against me? He mocked. You're so pathetic I don't know who's more mediocre, you or Sakura. Shut up, Ino yelled. Don't think you're so great for having beaten Sasuke-kun by luck, she growled, pointing her finger at him. You've always been a loser, a mediocre trash who. But Ino couldn't continue because a blow lodged in her stomach, cutting off her breath and making her spit up blood. Slowly, she lowered her gaze and saw Naruto's fist connecting in her belly. "And Naruto hit me," she said with difficulty as she fell to her knees. No, this wasn't supposed to happen, she thought, starting to panic. I'm not in the mood for your nonsense, I muttered coldly. I never thought Naruto could hit me. Ino thought desperately as she coughed and tried to catch her breath. According to Sakura, Naruto was an idiot, but he would never lay a finger on a woman, she thought, still coughing. Naruto bent down to be at Ino's level, who was still on her knees. I was happy until you and that other idiot came to bother me. I don't know exactly what you were planning to do, but if you value your health and integrity, you'll take your boyfriend and get out of here. Ino raised her head and, panting, smiled mockingly at Naruto. Don't think you're so great because of a stroke of luck. And without thinking, she spat directly in his face. Naruto wiped the spit from his face and laughed maniacally. As stupid as ever, and grabbed her by the neck and lifted her up. Ino, who hadn't expected that, tried to break free from Naruto's grip, but the blonde boy tightened his grip, and she let her hands fall when she felt like she couldn't breathe and unconsciousness was calling her. He's a monster, Ino thought. Listen carefully, you little pest, Naruto said in a deadly voice that Ino had never heard before, sending a chill down her spine. Ever since I met you, you've been a nuisance to me. Day after day, you've been a bitch to me. I never gave you any reason to be like that, never any excuse, but you humiliated me in front of everyone, day after day, he declared angrily. I don't know why, and frankly, I don't care. I tried to ignore everyone who bothered me back then, but my patience has run out, she said furiously. I can't believe how annoying and frustrating you are. You irritate me so much. Maybe I should finish you off and spare your clan and the name of Konoha the shame," Naruto added as he formed a chakra sphere in his hand. Ino had never felt so scared in her life. Naruto was pressing on her neck and preparing an attack. Seeing all the chakra in his hand, she knew he could kill her if he wanted. Naruto was truly furious. He reminded her of how badly she had treated him in the past, and if he thought he was going to get revenge for all that mistreatment, well, Ino knew these would be her last moments alive. "I'll give you some advice," Naruto continued. "The same advice I gave Sakura. Either you do your part to be a true kunoichi, or you'll end up dead," the blonde threatened. "Honestly, I don't care what happens to you. You're a disgrace to the shinobi, a burden to Shikamaru and Choji, just like Sakura is to us." Narrowing his eyes, his voice cold, he continued, "You're so alike. Pathetic, weak, inadequate. You seek the attention of a guy who will never pay you any attention instead of being true shinobi. You pretend to know him and what he wants," he said with all the venom he could muster. "Admit it, Yamanaka. I know Sasuke better than you and Sakura do. Do you really think he'll be interested in you, the scum of the village? The idiot has high standards for the person who fathers his bastards. Do you think he'll be interested in the pathetic excuse that you are, or the one that Sakura is?" He mocked with all the venom he could muster. "Hinata has more chances than any of you." Ino, still struggling to breathe, listened to every venomous word Naruto uttered, completely stunned. Though she tried to deny it, everything he said broke her heart because she knew it was true. Every word was true. If it weren't for Sakura, who was just as bad as her, or even worse, she would be the worst kunoichi in the village. Tears of frustration and humiliation, streamed down her face. It had never occurred to her that Naruto could terrify her like no one ever had. They probably haven't told you this, but the best thing that can happen to an inefficient kunoichi on a mission where they're ambushed by other ninjas is to die. "Tell me, Ino," Naruto said seriously, hoping to make the girl understand. "What do you think a group of sick and degenerate ninjas who are only looking for the opportunity to get a piece of meat from a prestigious clan can do to you?" she asked darkly. "You should ask Anko or Kurenai how many of their fellow kunoichi have been raped, kidnapped, and turned into breeding machines. That's what awaits you and Sakura if you don't do your part and get out of your stupid fanatical attitude." Upon hearing this, Ino's face paled. She knew it was true. Her mother had told her so once when she feared Ino wasn't considering the complications of being a kunoichi. She didn't want to be raped or kidnapped and end up in another village being used to bear children. She didn't want to experience all the hardship and darkness Naruto was describing, and it was obvious that this was what awaited her, Sakura, and anyone else if they didn't try harder. It was terrifying, and Naruto was trying to make her understand. But that didn't change the fact that the Uzumaki was humiliating and degrading her so much that she saw nothing but the hatred she felt for him. "Why isn't it working? Why?" she cried desperately, thinking about her plan, as it was her only way to escape. Naruto decided that enough was enough talk and released Ino and canceled the Rasengan. He knew he wasn't going to use it against her. He was just pretending to scare Ino into giving up on what he was planning. When he realized there was nothing more to say, seeing the crying girl, he decided to leave. Then he realized something. "I can't move," he murmured. "It took longer than I expected, but it finally happened," Ino said softly from the floor as she massaged her neck. "What did you do?" Naruto growled. "A little paralysis poison concentrated in a perfume. I took the antidote before using it on myself. All this time you've been inhaling it, so you can't move," Ino said as she stood up and made a hand gesture that Naruto quickly identified. "You're going to pay for everything, Naruto. Damn it. Kurama, can you heal me before he uses his jutsu?" he asked frantically. "No, Gaki. The bitch has us trapped. I won't have time to eliminate the poison from your body. We just have to prepare for her," Kurama growled. "Ino, I'm warning you. Don't use that jutsu or you'll pay dearly for it," Naruto threatened, hoping Ino wouldn't enter his mind. "Ha, you're at my mercy, Naruto. Nothing you say can scare me. Prepare to pay for each and everything you've done to me," he threatened. "Whatever you want, Ino. If she wants to play like that, She'll have to face the consequences, thought Naruto, knowing there was no escape. Shintenshin no Jutsu, mind transfer jutsu, the blonde declared. In Naruto's mind, Ino opened her eyes and sat up. She was in a very dark place. What happened? Why can't I see my body lying there from Naruto's perspective? Where am I? She thought, confused, looking around. It's similar to what happened with Sakura, but very different at the same time, she murmured as she began to walk. It took Ino a while to reach a wide open space, while she looked for the exit of Sipa Kami where she was. This is getting creepy by the minute dash. Don't worry. It'll get worse, murmured a voice behind her. Ino turned around and found Naruto watching her. Welcome back, Ino-chan. Where am I? I asked, starting to get scared. Where did you bring me, you idiot? I demand. I didn't bring you anywhere. You decided to come yourself when you used your jutsu on me. I warned you not to use it, but you didn't care. Well, you're about to learn the village's best-kept secret, Naruto said darkly. What do you mean? The frightened girl moaned. Naruto didn't answer, but it wasn't necessary when behind him some huge red eyes suddenly appeared and fixed on Ino. Then the sound of a huge mass moving gave way to the appearance of an enormous beast, something terrifying that froze Ino's blood. I present to you the Kyubi no Yoko, the enormous beast that the Yondaime sealed inside me, Naruto said emotionlessly. Ino couldn't move a muscle. She was in the presence of the most terrifying demon she had ever seen. Not that she had seen many, but it was a sight of terror. The beast that destroyed the village 12 years ago was standing before her. I have to get out of here, she moaned as she placed a hand seal. Kai, she said, but nothing happened. Kai, she pleaded. Why isn't it working? There's no escape, Ino-chan. You entered my mind. You invaded my personal space, Naruto declared angrily. Fine, I'll give you what you came for. And turning his back on the girl, he said, Ready, Kurama. Understood, Gaki, the monster said. What are you going to do to me? Ino cried. I'll give you a taste of what it's like to be an Uzumaki Naruto, the boy declared without turning around. I'll show you what I've been through to see if you can understand a little of what you've been a part of. Participate? She repeated, but suddenly a red vortex caught her. What's happening? Before Ino's eyes, many images began to appear, many memories began to be engraved in her mind. She was remembering Naruto's childhood from the boy's point of view, but the worst part was that she was experiencing firsthand the suffering he lived through as the years passed. Naruto watched all this impassively, but after a few moments he sighed. Are you sure she'll be all right, Kurama? He asked, genuinely worried about Ino. Don't worry, you'll only experience the memories. I added some strong ones, but omitted the truly unpleasant ones. I must admit, seeing you surprised me, Gaki. You've been through things no other living being could have endured, and you still care about the people of this miserable town. Someone else would have already destroyed this pigsty, exclaimed the Biju. I don't want to talk about it, the boy muttered curtly, as he sat on the ground and waited for Ino to emerge from the vortex. Tsk Gaki, Kurama grumbled. Ino relived every bitter moment of Naruto's life, from his expulsion from the orphanage, to the birthdays where he was chased by the villagers, where he had to look for food in the garbage because nobody wanted to sell him even a simple piece of fruit, and where some ninjas, including members of his clan, attacked him for no apparent reason. She felt the loneliness, the abandonment, the hatred. Everything was so dark. But what hurt her the most, what made her scream and beg for it to end, were the memories of the abuse she herself inflicted on Naruto. She felt how every humiliation, every taunt hurt Naruto more. She never expected her to be a monster to someone else. She realized the other side of the situation, how she and Sakura had hurt Naruto to the very core of his being. Those thoughts were still in her mind when the vortex began to disappear and the image of a sitting Naruto appeared before her. Did you enjoy the trip? The blonde man said sarcastically. I'm so sorry. He tried to apologize. Everything you've been through, what I've done to you. Kami, I don't know how to feel seeing what I did. I just know that I'm really sorry, he cried. That doesn't matter now, Naruto said as he stood up. What does matter is that what you just saw is an S-class secret. if you divulge it or if people find out you used your family jutsu to learn it. Well, he ran a finger across her neck, letting her know she would be killed if she revealed the secret. Like I said, it's the village's best-kept secret, and the Hokage doesn't want anyone to know. He didn't even want me to know, he muttered, annoyed. Naruto. Ino tries to say, "Get out of here, Ino. Go back to your boyfriend and just leave me alone," said Naruto as he walked out of the camera. Unless you want to keep that huge thing back there. Remembering that she was in the presence of the Kyuubi, Ino wasted no time and dispelled her jutsu. Kai!
Hey, if you are here and want more seasons of this fanfic, don't forget to give your comment asking for the 5th season. So, bye bye.